You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
He expects...
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that question.
Oh, wow, I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me.
Diddy's downfall might not be as final as everyone thought, because word on the streets is that his handler just pulled off the deal of the century. Multiple reports claim that this handler has been secretly negotiating with Donald Trump himself for a presidential pardon. And yes, it's allegedly all to wipe Diddy's slate clean. Sources claim that it isn't just some wild rumor. It's a calculated move, part of a larger plan to get Diddy out of legal jeopardy and back into power. But here's where things take a darker turn. Insiders are saying that Diddy didn't just fall from grace, he was pushed. Word on the streets is that a group of high-ranking Hollywood power players allegedly orchestrated his entire downfall after he crossed the wrong people. The goal was to teach him a lesson, and now that lesson has supposedly been learned. His team obviously wants the slate wiped clean. Behind the scenes, his handler has reportedly been pulling every string imaginable, from back-channel meetings to political favors and quiet financial deals to make sure Diddy walks free. But not everybody is on board with this redemption arc. Cassie, who was at the center of the storm that exposed everything, is reportedly furious. She sees the idea of Diddy getting a pardon as a pure disrespect, not just to her, but to every woman who spoke out. Well, this drama is going to get spicy, so let's get into it. So it turns out that Diddy's team was playing chess while the rest of us were out here playing checkers. Just when we thought that the entire drama was over after this sentencing, it turns out that it might all have been for nothing. According to reports, his handlers on the outside are almost done securing a presidential pardon that will have Diddy out in time for Thanksgiving. So you know how people have been speculating that Diddy got on the wrong side of some powerful people, right? Well, it turns out that this might be true after all, because according to reports, the handler in question works for the same people who were behind his legal drama in the first place. Rumor has it that they wanted to teach him a lesson, and now that he's learned his lesson, they're getting him a presidential pardon. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is very wild, but what seems even wilder is the fact that they seem to be succeeding at getting the pardon. I mean, for a while, Trump made it clear that he wasn't even considering the idea of pardoning Diddy. Apparently, Trump didn't forget that Diddy left him hanging during that election season. Not only did he refuse to back him, but he allegedly was also talking trash about him behind the scenes, and people close to Trump said he took it personally, especially since he and Diddy used to be cool. And that's when whatever friendship was left between them completely fell apart. And you all know that Diddy and Trump actually go way back. We're talking long before Bad Boy Records, before scandals, but back when Diddy was still Puff Daddy. And both of them were moving in the same flashy, high-profile circles. Listen to what he said.
Sean Diddy Combs,
Right.
would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, you know, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it's hard, you know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs,
I
it
would
sounds
say
like.
so.
Well, to be fair, Diddy never exactly hid the fact that he wasn't a fan of Trump. Back in 2017, he flat out said in an interview, "I think that, to be honest, we don't really give an F about Trump because black people are in the same effed up position. So that's not what we're on. The tomfoolery that's going on in DC, that's just regular everyday business to black folks. That's not surprising." And it didn't end there, because back in 2020, during an interview with Charlemagne the God, Diddy was making a stance crystal clear, saying the top priority at the time was getting Trump out of office.
The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility and really should be scared to death of this man is white people.
Y'all, this aged horribly, because not only did Trump refuse to give Diddy a presidential pardon at the time, but word on the street says he didn't stop there. Sources claim he allegedly went the extra mile, putting pressure on the presiding judge, Judge Aaron, to make an example out of Diddy by handing down a harsh sentence for the charges he'd already been convicted of. See, many people assumed that Diddy would have gotten time served, thinking he'd walk out without major jail time. Diddy and his lawyers were super confident about this because he even booked speaking engagements before the sentencing, and it was clear that they thought he was going home immediately, but instead he was hit with a 50-month sentence. In a last-ditch effort, Diddy's lawyers also filed a motion against the judge to either throw out the guilty verdicts or grant him a new trial. In their filing, they argued, "To our knowledge, Mr. Combs is the only person ever convicted of violating the statute for conduct anything like this. It is undisputed that he had no commercial motive and that all involved were adults. The men chose to travel and engage in the activity voluntarily. The verdict confirms the women were not vulnerable or exploited or trafficked or SA'd." At this point, it was clear that Diddy and his team were in full panic mode, and there was a lot of talk about appeals and challenging the judge's sentencing, and his lawyers claimed that the sentencing was just too harsh, saying, "To our knowledge, Mr. Combs is the only person ever convicted of violating the statute or conduct anything like this. It is undisputed that he had no commercial motive and that all involved were adults. The men chose to travel and engage in the activity voluntarily. That verdict confirms the women were not vulnerable or exploited or trafficked or SA'd. But it looks like they no longer have anything to worry about because it looks like Diddy's handler is already handling the situation." Now, of course, the powerful people involved could just let the case go to appeal and then have the sentencing vacated. But this would cause something of a scandal because of how sensitive the case is. From the looks of it, the next best option is not to let the case go to trial at all, but to get a presidential pardon. And not just any pardon, the type that wipes the crime off your record. If y'all thought that this could be impossible, well, let me burst your bubble real quick, because not only is it very much possible, but it looks like the plan is already in motion. Here's what really had fans raising their eyebrows. During a recent interview, President Trump was asked about Diddy's legal troubles, and instead of dismissing the question or denying any involvement, he didn't shut it down. In fact, he went on a step further and subtly suggested that a presidential pardon could be a possibility. He left the door open, hinting that Diddy's situation might still be salvageable under the right circumstances.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me.
If you think that Diddy's situation couldn't get any messier, well, think again, because things are starting to fall into place. According to reports, this so-called pardon spree Trump went on a few weeks ago was allegedly just a smokescreen, and the real target behind it all is Diddy. Sources say that the president allegedly knows the pardoning Diddy outright would send the internet into a frenzy, so instead the plan was to start with other celebrity pardons first, easing the public into it and making the whole thing look more normal before dropping the big one, Diddy. And y'all could agree that the timing is suspicious as F. In the past few weeks, the president, he has already pardoned NBA YoungBoy for his weapons charges, plus reality stars Todd and Julie Chrisley after their fraud and tax evasion convictions. Oh, and let's not forget the blanket pardon for the January 6 rioters. Yeah, that was a setup. The insider says it's all building up to Diddy. Everybody else is just getting the pardons, and it looks like he's next in line. And believe me, when it happens, it's going to bust the whole thing wide open. As messy as the whole situation is, you have to give it to Diddy's handlers his coins, though, because it's clear that he has been putting his back into it. Y'all know what Trump is like and how hard it is to get him to change his mind once he decides that he's beef with somebody. So to make him go from giving Diddy a full pardon and wiping it from public records, y'all, the handler is out here working miracles. But as you can expect, not everybody is taking this well, and Cassie is one of those people. According to reports, she is horrified that Diddy would be getting off easy after everything he did to her and other women. During the trial, she revealed that she still struggled with the trauma of what she went through. She said, "I still have nightmares and flashbacks on a regular, everyday basis and continue to require psychological care to cope with my past." After Diddy was sentenced, she also spoke out and said that the justice was finally served and she could finally focus on healing. In a statement via her lawyers, she said, "While nothing can undo the trauma caused by Combs, the sentence imposed today recognizes the impact of the serious offenses he committed. We are confident that with the support of her family and friends, Ms. Ventura will continue healing, knowing that her bravery and fortitude have been an inspiration to so many. But according to new reports, her healing is now threatened with the knowledge that not only is Diddy getting off, but he is not even getting a record. Insiders are saying that he has been depressed and hoping against hope that the pardon doesn't pull through, and that Trump denies it out of respect for Diddy's victims. But unfortunately for her and other victims, Diddy's behind-the-scenes moves might actually pay off. And if they do, it's going to shake everything up. From secret meetings to political favors, his handler has been working every angle to try to get him a presidential pardon that could wipe his record clean. With Trump leaving the door open and all the carefully timed celebrity pardons, it's clear something big is in the works and the internet is going to lose it if this finally drops. But we can't ignore the fallout. Cassie and the other women who spoke out are caught right in the middle of this power play. Their pain isn't just part of the story, and for them, justice could feel like it's slipping away. There's the tension that makes the drama so explosive, because Diddy could walk free while the people affected by his actions are still dealing with the consequences. This isn't just legal drama. This isn't just celebrity gossip. This is high-stakes power game, and the next move could blow the roof off of everything we thought we knew. Because if this pardon finally happens, the reactions are going to be insane.